Alright, so today we're going to talk about how to compare and order rational numbers, and this should be on page 77. Alright, so remember, rational numbers are your fractions, your decimals, your percents, your negative numbers. So we're going to be comparing all of that. So first I want to remind you about our number lines. Remember, 0 is in the middle. Remember, the numbers to the left are the least. So least is on the left. Remember, although 10 is bigger than 5, since it's a negative, it's actually smaller. So be careful when you are comparing negative numbers. And then your greatest is to the right. Numbers get greater as they get further to the right. Feel free to stop and pause the video anytime. Alright, first we're going to start with how to compare. And remember, when we compare, we use our greater than symbol, less than, and equal. So let's try our first example. We have 3/5. Let's make negative 3/5, and we are going to compare it to 40%. So before we compare anything, we need to change everything to the same form. So to compare and order, they need to be in the same form. And I'm going to make that into a cloud because that is important. That means both of our numbers need to be the same. Either both have to be percents or they both have to be fractions. So in this case, I'm going to change this fraction to a percent. And I'm actually going to make this a negative to make it more challenging. So make sure you fix those. They're both negatives. Alright, so to compare, we need to make sure they are in the same form. And I think it's easier to compare percents rather than fractions. So I'm going to be changing this fraction into a percent. So I'm going to do the exact same thing as we know. We want to change 3/5 to a percent. Remember, you can look at your denominator and see if there's a number you can multiply it by to get 100. And if I multiply it by 20, I get 60%. Now, since this is a negative 3/5, that would be a negative 60%. So which one is bigger, negative 60 or negative 40? Well, if I plot it on a number line, we would have negative 40, and then negative 60 would be further to the right, further to the left. So that means negative 40 would have to be greater. So that means negative 40% is greater than negative 3/5. So now let's do an example on how to order numbers. So our example will look something like list numbers in order from least to greatest. And my numbers are going to be 0.75, 1/2, 33%, 4/5, and 0.2. So we need to change them all into the same thing. So we got decimals, fractions, and percents. And since I have two decimals, I'm going to change them into decimals. That way I only have to change these three numbers in the middle. So 0.75 is already a decimal, so it's going to stay the same. 1/2 as the decimal is $0.50, which is 50 cents. 33%, I need to replace my percent symbol with a decimal and move it to the left 2 times, and we end up with 0.33. For fifths into a decimal, we need to do typo. 4 goes in, 5 goes out, and I'm going to make my 4 into a decimal and bring it up. 5 can't go into 4, but 5 can go into 40 8 times. So we get 0.8, and then we just bring this 0.2 down. Now, to make it easier to compare, since these numbers have 2 digits after my decimal, I'm going to do the same with these. So I'm just going to put a 0 after. Now they all have 2 digits after the decimal. Remember, zeros at the end do not change the value. And now we can go ahead and list them. So I'm going to think about this just like money. So this is 20 cents. This will go first, then 33 cents, then 50, 75 cents, and 80 cents. And then I'm just going to order them. But when I list them, I'm going to use the original number we started with. So the first one is 20 cents, but I'm going to use 0.2. Next we have 0.33, but I'm going to use 33%. And then 50 cents, which is 1/2. And then 75 cents, which is what we had originally. And then last, 4/5. So this would be my answer. Go ahead and start on your assignment. If you have questions, you can type it in the comment section of your assignment.